everybody, this is Dominique with Black Girl Reviews, and today I am reviewing a highly requested show, Selling Sunset on Netflix. This is season 6, episode 1. I think it's called I Wanted to Hate You. Okay, so this season opens up with all the ladies walking through this beautiful home. Chrishell saying that, people think that I'm going through a midlife crisis, but I'm really not. I'm having an awakening. And that's because she's dating a woman now, and it was all over the blogs and People Magazine and all these other places. So, people have a lot of things to say about her. Okay. All right. And the next person, Chelsea walks past the pool and she's saying, she's in a whole new market and she feels like a whole new bitch. Sorry, Mom. I'm going to have to cuss in this review because they do a lot of cursing. I don't know. I want to say the exact word. I could have said B word, right? Oh, well. Moving on. Emma is walking past the pool table and she's saying that, she is building an empire right now and she's in competition with no one but herself. And I feel you on that one, girl, but we know that's not true, girl. You still trying to sell a house that you was trying to sell last season, so okay. Next, we have Amanda. She says she doesn't give a F about a lot of things she used to give a F about in the past, I guess. Girl, okay, Amanda. Next, we have a new girl named Nicole. She says she's done 100 million in sales, and anybody tries to get away with that is gonna be an issue. Okay, I'm interested in a new girl. I hope y'all are. What y'all think about her? Well, I'm actually taking episode by episode, so I haven't seen her in any episodes yet. I'm still on episode 1. We're going to get there with the new girl because she wasn't on episode 1. Okay? Next, we have Heather. She's pregnant. She's pregnant with the guy from HGTV. Got his name, Flip or Flop Stack. And she said she's going to be a rock star mommy and a rock star businesswoman. If your husband was a rock star, that would actually be kind of cute, but maybe you should have said something else. It sounds cheesy. Next, Mary walks by and she says she's not going to miss Christine and it's probably for the best that she's gone, but she is nervous about the new dynamic. Mary, why did you use that little segment to talk about Christine and she's not on the show no more? Like, let's move on. We already know that Christine is gone. Let's talk about you, girl. You could have been like, I'm excited. What is going on with you, actually? Now that I'm thinking about it, like, all right, Mary, I hope you're not going to spend this whole season talking about Christine. I hope she does a cameo if you're going to do all this promotion for her, okay? Moving on. Next, we have a new girl. Her name is Bree. She says she's kind of like a mirror. Whatever you give is what you get back. And she's here, to be a businesswoman. And she's here to F this ish up, okay? All right. I like the new girl. I see what she's going to bring. I'm pretty sure she's going to be the new Christine or something, that energy. No one can replace Christine, but I feel like she's going to give that energy that we're going to need on the show. Okay, so after the opening scene, and then they show all the ladies in this nice house. The first house they show, of course, they're going to show houses if you've never seen this show. It's houses and drama, by the way. The first house is a St. Ives place. It has 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and it's about 4,000 square feet, and it's roughly about $8 million, and they are getting roughly a $200,000 commission. Okay, now I like the commission part. Now that would make me want to be a real estate agent, but it's a lot of work. I mean, any job is a lot of work, but you gotta put in a lot of work to get those type of listings. After they finish showing the house, they show Emma and Chrishell meeting up in the house, and apparently this is Chrishell's old home. And they walk around, and they fangirl over the home, and like, oh my god, Chris Styles probably sit right here. Oh my god, what did Chris Styles leave here? Did he leave anything? Well, yeah, girl, he left about 100 pair of shoes, but they're gone now. Oh wow, is this Chris Styles' bedroom? This is very sexy. Oh, yes, very sexy. Then they decided to walk outside and they have a conversation. Of course, it had to come up that Chrishell is dating a woman now. I think her name is G Flip. She's a drummer. I know that for a fact. I saw her drum on the episode. And she was like, I'm, I wasn't attracted to her at first, but she grew on me and I just can't wait to, live my life with her. I don't want to put no labels on myself. I go where the energy goes. Blah, blah, blah. And she's talking about, yeah, we're happy. I'm as happy as I ever been. And Emma just eating it all up. And she was like, okay, so how do you feel? Like, are you coming back to the office? Apparently, in her confessionals, Chrishell said she hasn't been in the office since she broke up with Jason last season. And she felt like the energy was off in the office. And, of course, she felt like she hasn't talked to Mary. And, her and Mary used to be, best friends. They used to be like this. And her and Mary is not like this no more. So they was like, okay, well, we miss you in the office. And she was like, yeah, I think about it because I've been working from home since the breakup, but I might come into the office. And she was like, okay, well, this is Emma saying, okay, well, I have a broker's opening coming up for the house that I can never sell because it's overpriced, but I want you to come. And she was like, okay, I'll think about it. Next, we have Mary, and she's walking in this condo, and she meets up with Jason and her husband. And her husband is currently working for Jason as the contractor of this penthouse suite that he's created. Apparently, he took 4 condos and turned it into 2 massive penthouse suites. Both penthouse suites have 3 beds, 4 baths, and it's almost 4,000 square feet for each. Okay. And it's roughly about $10 million draining his pocket, and it's still not done. And it's been a 2-year process. Okay. And Jason is ready for, these projects to make him some money because that's all he do is buy a house, flip it, sell it. Buy a house, flip it, sell it. So, meanwhile, while they're in the condo looking around at the progress, Mary brings up Jason's new girlfriend, and her name is Mary Lou. She's 24, and it's a 21-year gap. Thanks to Amanda, she did the math for me. And, he's happy. He's, taking her out, enjoying vacations, and, it's probably easy for him. He doesn't need someone who's one of, like Chrishell, sorry, not Krishan. Oops. Chrishell, who wants a baby and wants to be married and stuff like that. He needs someone that wants to have fun and not taking life so seriously. In the next scene, we have Bree. She's walking down Sunset Boulevard. This is the new girl. She said that, she just got into real estate, and as soon as she got into real estate, her first listing was like $17 million, and she's been crushing it ever since. She said she don't get out of bed unless it's $15 million in listings or more. Okay, I like that. Then she said that that her clientele is athletes, billionaires, ballers, people with that bag. You don't deal with nobody. Her clientele ain't no bums, you know what I'm saying? And she ain't dealing with no little bitty houses, you know what I'm saying? Um, and she goes to sit down with Heather before going into the office to kind of get like the rundown of the office. Meanwhile, in the office, everybody was like, "Oh, Bree's coming. Oh, Bree's coming. Oh, have you heard? That's Nick Cannon's baby mother. What? That's crazy. Oh, there's a lot of women that's his baby mother, but okay." Then they were like, "Oh yeah, she just had her baby 6 months ago. 6 weeks ago. Can you believe it? 6 weeks. 6 months sounds, more right, but it's only been 6 weeks. Well, that's a month and a half or so. Maybe 2 months. 2 months. So that's not bad." So Heather said to Bria that, all the women are probably sitting around the office right now, probably trying to figure out who you are and Googling you and looking at the headlines to see and wondering if you are just like who they said that you are in the headlines. So they skip to the scene where they walk in the door of the Oppenheimer group. I think that's how you say it. The O group. I'm gonna say the O group. And everybody's fake. Hello. Oh, hey, hey, girl, hi, welcome. And they were like, Bree was like, oh, so where can I sit? And it was like, Mary said, oh, you can sit anywhere. It's fair game. So she sits down in the seat, and Chelsea says, oh, don't get comfortable. That's Chrishell's seat. Okay, well, where's Chrishell? Because she ain't here. How about you worry about yourself? So that was already like a little strike for Chelsea in Bree's book. And I could tell because she was like, okay. Like she was taking notes. So when they brought up Chrishell, they asked Emma, hey, have you talked to Chrishell? Is she coming into the office today? And Emma said, well, I did have a conversation with her and I did invite her to the broker's opening for the house that I'm selling. And then they were like, oh, okay, well, let's get to real estate. And Chelsea asked Bree, oh, how long have you been in real estate? And Bree said, oh, I've been in real estate for like since 2017, but I really didn't get into it until 2021. And Chelsea says, oh, don't feel bad if your first year you don't really get any listings. It's about, hard work, grinding, da 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 da. And before she can even get it, like, a full sentence out, Bree's like, oh, how much did you make on your first year? And here's Chelsea. We got the 5, we got the 2, carry the 1, multiply it by 10, deduct it by 100,000, move the 1 to the front because we're gonna move the decimal over 1 to bring it over to the other side. So I think it's about $9.2 million. And Bree was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I did about $20 million for my first year, and everybody was like, damn! $20 million, girl. Everybody was like, okay. So I can just tell right there she was trying to, okay, yeah, you before you even asked me, you over here trying to make it seem like I wasn't making money on my first year. You did $9 million. Oh, and when she said I did $9.2 million, she was like, yes, I was very, very fortunate. Yes, very, very fortunate to have $9.2 million in my first year. She's like, yeah, well, I did 20 million. It was like, okay. So after Bree got her on that one, Chelsea was like, oh, so who's your clientele? And she was like, Bree was like, well, I used to keep my clientele private. And she was like, Chelsea was like, how dare she not tell me who her clientele is? But she was like, Bree was like, but I can tell you that my clientele is like athletes, ball players, people in the industry. Chelsea was asking Bree so many questions that even Amanda was like, dang, girl, you should have been the interviewer then. And everybody laughed, and the scene goes off right there. In the next scene, we have Chrishell. She's meeting up with G Flip, her girlfriend, at the studio. She's listening to G Flip, and G Flip playing the drums in the studio, and bad singing in the background. Oh, I don't even know what they was. Well, I don't even know what song that was. It was probably one of her songs. Probably trying to promote it through the show. And then she comes out, they kiss, they have little moments. She tried to teach her how to play drums. It was not cute. It looked forced. Then they go sit down sit down inside the studio, and they discuss, Chrishell, going back to work. And she was like, I don't know if I should go back to work. The energy has been different since I've been working from home. I really love being in my little bubble. But I am going to go and test out the waters at this broker's opening event that Emma invited her to. And she's going to see how it is. Next scene, we have Emma's broker opening, and she's at the Lloyd Crest Drive location. That's the location she couldn't sell last year. She's still trying to sell it. And it's 5 beds, 9 baths, and it's 10,000 square feet, and it's roughly $19 million, and the commission is about $500,000, almost $600,000 in commission. The price of the house, I feel like it might be overpriced for this economy. I mean, yeah, like yes, the housing market is effed up right now, and typically, during the pandemic, when you can pretty much price your house at any price, and people were buying it because they really put a halt on building homes, and now the halt, the process of building a home isn't as slow as it was at the beginning of 2020 and going into 2021. But it is Beverly Hills, but it is a multi-home, modern style home, and it's very, high priced. So Emma is talking to some people that's there, and they asked why did the deal fall through for the house, and she was like, "Well, the deal fell through because of the fire insurance that they have to get for the house. The fire insurance is roughly $180,000 a year, and the homeowners were looking for at least like $40,000 a year. So when they couldn't get it in that price range, they just stopped the process of buying the home. Girl, the house you're selling is $19 million. Then they have to pay $180,000 for just fire insurance, and you have to get fire insurance, not including the other insurance. Like, that's just fire. What about flood? They be having floods down the rocks. Like, overpriced. They might need to cut out. If I had to price this home, yeah. What would I price this home? Because the home, they showed the house. It's a nice house. It's just $19 million. Like, and you really don't get no land. Like, I would price this house probably 14 million, maybe 15 million. Maybe like 14,999. So I could get the 15, But 19 million, and then also the $180,000 in flood insurance. Fire insurance. I'm sorry. No, that house is not worth all that. Okay, so the next scene, the first person that shows up is Chelsea to the party. Chelsea got on this white dress with this hard cover where you like the front of the dress is hard, the hard shell, and my man's like banged on it, and he was like, doop, doop, doop. Sorry. The next person that shows up is Amanda in this pink wig. Heather had the nerve to ask her, is that a wig? Duh. Like, you literally just saw her probably yesterday, and she had cornrows going to the back of her head. You think she took the cornrows off in one day, and now her hair is pink and wavy? Like, you don't know what her hair look. Maybe she don't know what her hair look like. Let me get off her. Maybe she don't know what her hair look like. So then Chelsea friends show up, and she's like, "Oh my God, hey friends, come over here, girls, come over here. Let me introduce you to Jason." Jason and Brett shows up as well. So she wants to introduce them to her friends, and she's like, "These are my friends. This is a client that has a lot of money, and she can afford this house." Doesn't say what she does. Doesn't say, how can she afford this house? Like, at first I thought that maybe the person's husband is the reason why she can afford the house, but I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was weird that she just was like, "Oh, this is my client. I think she'll be a perfect person for this house because she can afford it." Like, I thought a realtor was supposed to be like, oh, she's been looking for homes like this, modern style, with a pool, with a view. So this is like the perfect home for her. No, she can afford it. And I was like, something's up with her. So everybody's walking around, and everybody's like, oh, is Chrishell coming? Is Chrishell coming? And then Chrishell comes, and everybody's just like, oh, yay, Chrishell's here. Meanwhile, in the cut, Jason drinking his drink, just staring at us. Weird. And then, Chrishell's making her way through the party, and they was like, hey, have you talked to Jason? She was like, oh no, this is my first time seeing him. Just got here. I'm gonna go over there and say hello. So she goes over there to talk to Jason, and she's like, hey Jason, and he was like, hey. It was real awkward. They're like, yeah, so how was your trips? And he was like, oh, it was good, it was great. How was your trips? I watched all of your stories. I didn't miss one story. And Chrishell was like, oh, thanks for telling me you were stalking my IG page. And he was like, yep, I stalked it. I'm pretty sure I watched every single video that you posted. I watched it. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm in a new relationship. And he was like, oh, are you happy? And she was like, yes, I'm very happy. And she was like, what about you? I seen that you in a new relationship. And he was like, oh yeah, Mary Lou, I'm sorry. Mary Lou. Oh yeah, I'm so happy with her. We just came back from London and Mykonos. And Chrishell in her confessional was like, Mykonos? Really? That's where you took me. Very original. Like, you couldn't find no other place that was available. Girl, why do you care if you're in a new relationship? Why do you care where your ex-boyfriend is taking his new girl? Why do you care? Girl, you should have stayed with him. So you could have went back to Mykonos. Cause I know G Flip she ain't got Jason money. I know G Flip ain't got Jason money. So I know she ain't out here just taking you out to Mykonos for the weekend for no reason. Okay. Chrishell also said that, maybe Mary Lou is perfect for him. He needs someone younger who doesn't want kids and is not really serious about anything. And Emma breaks up the awkward tension between them two and was like, oh, let's take a shot. And Chrishell was like, whew, I'm so glad she came in her confessional. She was like, it was getting real awkward. And then Emma was like, oh, finish your shot, or do you want to take the shot in between my boobs? And Chrishell was like, yeah, let's take a shot between your boobs. And now she's so, liberal, and she's so, I'm going to take a shot out of boobs now that I'm a lesbian. But she's not a lesbian. She said she doesn't want to be labeled anything. I'm going to get into my opinion on that, but I'm going to move on. Next, Bree shows up last. She pulls up in a Rolls Royce with a driver. He come and open the door. Okay, she gets out in this real avant-garde type dress with the see-through. It looks like, how when Fashion Nova steals somebody else's idea, like it looked like that person's idea, but it looked cheap. Like the cheaper version, that's what she looked like. She looked like she had on Fashion Nova, but Fashion Nova got different, levels. Her Fashion Nova dress was probably like $150 instead of the $40 dress. She got like the $150 dress. But anyways, she shows up to the party. She says hello to everybody. Everybody's like, hey everybody, hello. And then Chelsea was like, hey girl, oh hey, oh let me introduce you to my friends. And Bree was like, oh, Savannah and blah blah blah. And oh, I know y'all. What's up, girl? Hey. And Chelsea was just kind of like sitting in the cut, kind of looking like, oh shoot, my plan didn't work. I don't think she was expecting them to have, oh, give me a hug, to be fake Hollywood, Give me a hug, girl. Oh yeah. Oh, how long has it been? It's been so long. And then Chelsea Fake was like, oh, how long have y'all known each other? Like, where do y'all know each other from? And Bree was like, oh, from work. We used to work at Starlight together. And then takes a shot of her drink, like, girl, you know where we know this girl from. We know each other from. So they all kind of, mingle throughout the crowd. And Heather pulls Bree outside And she was like, "Oh, how is everything going? How are you liking the crew?" And Bree was like, "Oh, I'm liking the crew. The crew's cool, but I can tell I'm gonna have to keep my eye out on Chelsea because why are you bringing these girls that used to work at my old job to this party?" So she gets into deep about who these girls are. She was like, "These are models I used to work with at a modeling agency," and she was like, "We really didn't get along, and we ended on bad terms." But Chelsea intentions on bringing these girls to this party, knowing that, you know, we probably got beef. So Heather was like, "Oh, really? Those are your old coworkers? That's interesting. Like, I wonder, what's the deal? Like, why she brought them?" And Bree was like, "I don't know. I'm not sure if she's trying to pull up old skeletons of me or what. But all my skeletons, and even my news, is on Google. So just Google me, girl, if you want some information about me." I like Brie. I like her because she's catching it. She's quick with it. She knows what's happening. And she's pivoting. She's like, "Oh, you brought these girls that I don't get along with, but I'm gonna act like I like them." And they so fake, they gonna go along right with it. Like, "Oh, hey girl, hey, how are you?" And I can tell Chelsea was like, "Damn, like, this didn't work how I thought it was gonna go. This is not how I thought it was gonna go." And meanwhile, Mary shows up to the party, and everybody's like, hey Mary, how you doing? What's up?" Heather was like, "Girl, you got a little bitchy side to you." And she was like, "I can breathe. I can be that, but you're gonna have to pull it out of me, pretty much." Meanwhile, Chrishell pulls Mary to the side now that she's at the party. And she asks her to talk to her. They haven't talked since the reunion. And she feels, Chrishell laid it all out there and said that, she felt like, that after the reunion, it felt like Mary took Jason's side more than she did instead of keeping it, neutral. Mary pretty much admitted to, take a side. She was like, "Yeah, I mean, it wasn't her intentions on taking sides. It was just that she felt like Jason needed her more. He was taking the breakup very, very hard." And Chrishell calls BS in her confessional. She was like, before the reunion, he was already talking to women and having girls in and out of his place, even though I don't know how she knows that. But probably somebody told her. But, having girls in and out of her place before the reunion. So, of course, during the reunion, Chrishell was already in a new relationship, and Jason wasn't in nothing serious. So it seemed like, he was still, feeling the emotions of the breakup and still, processing the breakup, but really he wasn't. Just because he wasn't in a committed relationship doesn't mean that he was just out here being single when he wasn't. Jason's a playboy. I wouldn't even want to be in a relationship with Jason. Yes, he got a lot of money. I really thought, okay, let me finish the end. I'm right at the end. So production asked Chrishell in her confessional, could she ever see herself forgiving Mary for not being there and being by her side after the breakup? And she looks at the camera like, then it goes off. Oh, let me give you my opinion about what happened on this episode. I personally, especially about Chrishell, I personally feel like Chrishell, isn't she an actress or something to that nature? Or I feel like she was an actress. I feel like I need to look that up, but I feel like she's giving actress. If she's not an actress, she wants to be one because she's giving actress and it's not giving real. Like her dating Jason just seemed like a plot line. And then right when filming stopped, they were like, "Oh, good, contract done. We can go our separate ways." And now her dating a woman still kind of feels like something I need to do to stay interesting. People are not looking for me because I'm the interesting one like Christine. Christine, she would just walk in the building and just sit there and just file her nails, and that's interesting to me. Like, I hope they do a spinoff on Christine, honestly, because this show is missing her. As soon as they got rid of her It just seemed like they were doing a lot for a little bit. You know what I mean? It just seems like, you know, the relationship was fake, and also she feels like Mary's being fake because she wasn't there for her breakup. But Mary is going where the money resides, okay? And plus, Mary's been friends with Jason way longer than she even known Chrishell. So her and Jason's friendship is more than just this TV show. But her and Chrishell's friendship is just this TV show because I feel like they don't even hang out outside of filming, in my opinion. I don't think none of them hang outside of filming. I don't even think none of them really work at the O group like that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I might do a little research and come back with a little T video about the show Selling Sunset. You know, they got those shows where they got like, oh, really this is fake and this is fake and they don't really do this. So I might look up some information on the show and come back with y'all with that one. But I like Bree. I like that she can pivot. She can take the shade that's thrown at her and hit back real quick to the point where I think Chelsea thought that, you know, I'm going to just pick on a new girl and have a storyline that way, and didn't think that Bree was going to be quick with it. And Bree is quicker than her. She's faster than her. You got to be quicker than that. That's how Bree be talking to her like, oh, you thought? You got to be quicker than that. I love Selling Sunset, so I'm going to keep giving it a try, even though I feel like some of these storylines are fake and phony. Emma, girl, tell that guy that you having a crush on that he might have to bring the price down on that house. You might have to reduce it. You know, people love feeling like they getting a bargain or a deal or a sale. You might have to reduce that. If you don't want to do 15, 17, because 17, maybe 16. Do 16.99 and at least you can get 17. But 18 going into 19, no, that house ain't worth it. But Mary, better get your husband. You better tell him to get to work because he's wasting Jason money. He wasting Jason time is money. He wasting Jason money. I would rate this episode an A. It could be better. Should I say A-? I'm always giving everything a B, so I don't want to give it a B. And I really did like this episode when I rewatched it. I watched it twice. So I really did like the episode, and I like how they ended it off with Chrishell. Like, should I forgive Mary? Girl, you gonna forgive Mary. If you don't forgive Mary, I guess that's gonna be your new storyline plus the G flip. I'm gonna give it what I want to give it. It's not an A plus. It's not an A-. It's just a regular old degular A. Okay, I mean that's good for That's good. You know, you all A's. You good right now. We're gonna look at your report card at the end of the season and see if you make honor roll Selling Sunset. Well, I want to thank y'all. Also, thank y'all for giving me suggestions on different shows to review. I hope y'all like this one, and I hope y'all come back for another one, y'all. Come back. Like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. So all your friends that love Selling Sunset, I will be back for episode 2, probably next week. I'm going to treat this like all my other shows because I have so many shows to review. I'm new at this. I'm editing everything. I'm trying to evolve. I'm trying to make everything look better. So I don't want to rush through everything, including my thumbnails, including everything. So I hope to see y'all back. Like this video, y'all. Like this video. Should I make goals on likes on videos? Can I get 10 likes on this video? That's not that bad, right? All right, bye, y'all.